this again on the way round, but the building that looks like an these are members of Parliament. They live in a truck filter.
Truck filter.
Yeah, we call that the beehive. It looks like a beehive. Looks like a beehive truck filter. And they are responsible for making the decisions at Wellington. So I want you to know, if anything goes wrong today, go there. They did it. You terrified?
They come from California, they have earthquakes.
Oh, yes, I know these things. Second time they've had a go at building that. That in 2016 we had the Kaikoura earthquake, and they deemed that original building, that bank, unsafe. So they red sticked it, and then they worked out the cost of repairs would be huge. So they pulled the building down, and when they rebuilt it, they put these base isolators. You see those big posts in there?
Yes.
They're all rubber feet. Sort of rubber feet and lead. And in theory, that can handle a 9.
Wow.
Yeah. But if there's a 9, I don't want to be anywhere near.
Yeah.
We'll pick them up for the information centre, then we'll get going. And see. I'm due a trip there myself. We have Te Papa here, which is quite famous, but a lot of people forget that. That is a absolutely stunning, very Kiwi. We're going to teach you a little bit of Maori today. So Wellington is also known as Whanganui-a-Tara. Whanganui-a-Tara, the great harbour of Tara. Now Tara was an elder who was sent down by Hemi Matanga. He said, I need some more pastures here. I want you to take a look around, go to the South Island. And he ended up in Wellington. Of course it didn't have a name then, so it was named Whanganui-a-Tara. Wellington was actually named after Arthur Wellesley, the Duke of Wellington. We'll get a chance to have a look at him up at the. We'll have a look at him at the Mount Victoria lookout. Just to let you know, even though it's named after him, he never actually set foot in the country. He was busy. We got any French in the audience? No. He said he was busy fighting and frightening Napoleon. And I have just heard back from the Prime Minister, who's given me the official figures. We have a total population of downtown Wellington of 220,000. So for a capital, that's quite a small number. Now, in the surrounding areas, we do have the huts, and we have the Wairapa, and we also have the Kapiti Coast, where I come in from every day. And if you add all those figures in the greater region, it adds up to still only 440,000. So that's sort of within a 50-75k radius, 440,000. But in downtown Wellington and the more central suburbs, 220,000. That's got quite a village feel to it. Chicago's average wind speed is only 12 miles an hour. I say only, it's still pretty quick. And in Wellington, we have an average wind speed of about 18 miles per hour. So it can get quite brisk. That's average, so it obviously does get faster than that. For those of you who've got a little bit of spare time, on the left here we've got the lovely Te Papa Museum. And if you get a chance to go and have a look at the basement area, we have base isolators in some of our buildings to make the parade is named after the ship that came in, the Oriental. The British came over here, and George Dupper, he came over to set the whaling station originally. So instead of being prestigious in the early days, this was covered in chopped up whales, blood, blubber, all over the place. It was quite a messy, smelly area until somebody realised, a smart guy in real estate, realised that perhaps the view was worth $1 million. So a lot of the buildings along here are valued between $2 million and $8 million. It's a very prestigious place to live. It didn't actually have a beach originally. It was just a waterfront. You dragged the whales up. As the guests became more affluent, it was decided to put some Norfolk pines across the side of the road make the place look quite nice. And they managed to bring up 220,000 tons of sand. And we're just heading to the beach. They took this up from Golden Bay in Nelson. At Golden Bay, apparently there are flecks of gold in the sand. And believe me, I've been looking. So just on the right here, you'll see the Seven Sisters. These are beautiful buildings that emulate what you would see in San Francisco. And a lot of people would say, why would we have such buildings in Wellington? Well, in 1906, there was a big earthquake in San Francisco and a fire, and it took away a lot of the houses. And San Francisco needed to be rebuilt. And so a lot of the timber that was over here, the native timber, the kauri and the rimu, matai and tortilla, very hard wood, excellent wood for building a house out of. They sent it over to San Francisco, and so they have similar houses to this in San Francisco, and it was decided to, in homage to this, to build some of those similar houses in Wellington, and we have them in Oriental Parade. Now you can imagine, if you look at the topography around the city, it's quite hilly. So it's quite a hilly city. This has been created by the earthquakes, no doubt, mostly. And as a result, you see a lot of people, they stay quite fit, they go out running. A lot of the ladies have very defined calves, very strong legs. And as a result, we have a So just over on our left, we have what used to be an island. That was known as Motu Kairangi. So Motu Kairangi was an island until 1460. There was another earthquake. It was quite useful. We didn't know that 500 years later we were going to build an airport on top of that earthquake. That was really useful. It pushed up the isthmus about 5 or 6 meters and joined the main city to that island of Motu Kairangi, which we now know as Miramar, which means by the sea. The harbour, Whanganui Otara, used to be the Taniwha. There were 2 Taniwha, 2 sea monsters in here, and one of them used to love to go on adventures, and there was slim and fit, probably entered the Iron Man. And as a result, he used to say to his friend, the other Taniwha, the other sea monster, he said, hey, let's go to the South Island. Let's go over the Cook Strait, which was quite remarkable, really, because James Cook hadn't been here at that point. So he said, let's go over to the South Island, let's go across that Cook Strait. And so the skinny one, the skinny Taniwha, went swimming through the gap, which is now the airport. And the big guy, the big Taniwha, who liked to eat all the fish and the krill, he got stuck. And so that is what we call where the Taniwha was. So it's up to you whether you wish to believe, is it an earthquake that pushed that up, or is it actually a sea monster? But just ahead of us on the right, you'll see 2 very, very nice, well-built funiculars. These funiculars are to get you up to your house.
Oh gosh.
So you jump in your little cable car and you go up to your house. Now you just spent maybe $8 million on your house, and then you'll need to get a cable car. And they come in between $150,000 and $500,000. There's approximately 250 of those in and around Wellington. Now if you can't afford a funicular, you can always use the staircase ahead of us. Just one word of advice: before you head up, make sure you check the mailbox. You can't get all of your furniture up there. Those funiculars are good to get you up with your nice Pinot Noir that you've got from Central Otago. But if you need to take your grand piano up there, or your wardrobe, or a large chest of drawers, you're going to have to get a helicopter to fly it in.
Oh my gosh.
Now, helicopters cost about $2,000 an hour. Just to give you an idea.
Spelled the tiny house in there. Nothing helps.
by Cog Park. You'll see on the right here, that's the big cog that we bring out those ships to get them fixed. So we don't do that here anymore, but we do remember it. The boats. So we have about 20 boat sheds along the front. On the left hand side, just out of interest, this is the place where we have the forget what the girls call themselves, but they go here every morning for a very cold dip, 365 days of the year. Not sure if that's one of them. Any sharks? Did somebody say, is there any sharks here?
Yeah.
There are sharks here. Most of them are harmless. We do get great whites over here,
Oh.
but they've never bitten anybody to my knowledge. Unlike you guys in Australia. You guys have got crocodiles, sharks, massive spiders, snakes. Everything is 10 times the size and it'll kill you in under a minute. New Zealand has no snakes. We don't have any of that. We have flightless birds over here.
Yeah.
The only thing that will kill you over here is the weather. You get quite a lick up here. So look left and right. Mistakes were made in the early days when the British come over and released all their hounds and possums from Australia. So we have no natural predators here. And so when the British came over here, in 800 AD, the local flightless birds would come up seeing a new creature go, right, welcome to Whanganui Atara, great Atara. Welcome. And then, so the numbers went right down, so we had a big...
There's birds over there.
Just over here we have, on the left hand side, we have the Tui. Tui, his own personal tailor.
Two fish, if you want. Switch our seats so you... 65 miles an hour here. 65 miles an hour.
Using in Lord of the Rings, he was in one of the offices. And whilst in one of the offices, there was an old dusty book on the shelf. None other than J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings. And with that, it sealed its fate. 2008, and it was served its purpose as premiering The Hobbit, Return of the Hobbit. Now you'll see that outside we have a bronze statue of Gandalf. So that's Gandalf. Jamie Selkirk, they decided to restore it. Now I've been there, and when I get a chance, years ago I used to drive the bus through Wellington. I was a bus driver, trolley bus driver. And on the day that we had the 2016 earthquake, nobody thought of stopping the bus drivers to go out. And I was driving through Mount Victoria Tunnel, and I'm originally from London. And I thought, I wonder, is that safe to be driving through a tunnel with an earthquake? And I had got to hear that tunnels are surprisingly strong in an earthquake. Now this little cutting here is called the Passa Branda. And a lot of British came over here, a lot of Scottish came over here. And while they were here, they named places after what they resembled back in England and Scotland and Wales, and that was called the Passabranda. So there's a Passabranda in Scotland. We're just out on our left there, that rock sticking out. For those of you who are surfers, that is an advanced surfing place. This is Breaker Bay. And so some very advanced surfers, when the surf's up, they will come over here and you'll see them. I think I was here, yesterday I was here, and we had a couple of surfers out there. We're not jumping off, we're just gonna take a little view here. And just behind us on the left, blue nudists. Very cold out here. There's 2 lighthouses over there. Yeah, I'll tell you, it was designed by an Irish fellow there.
There's the lighthouse.
Go on the beach. So somebody asked me, where's the Antarctic? Do you know where Antarctic is? South Pole?
South.
Any idea?
South.
So where's the South Island? Yeah. Give me a rough idea where you think. Where do you think? Nelson. Christchurch?
Queenstown. Closer?
Doing your homework. It is over there. I normally get extra points for sending you
It's
guys
over
all the way.
there?
Yeah. It's actually slightly west of Wellington. Is that all we can see there? Like the horizon. The end of the long white cloud. Aotearoa. There's a tricky one for you to say. 1,363 miles in that direction. Famous place for people coming down here. You'll see our little barbecue spot over here. Lots of people come down looking for abalone. And Carl had to put these things when I first came. So I said, what do you do with them? I said, you scoop out the nerve, the right tough old nerve, very, very tough. And so you eat it.
Wait.
It's actually quite nice. Quite tough, very tasty. It's like a very firmer version. The crayfish, you get a quota, they have to be above a certain size. Radar gave up. It was 115 kilometre an hour winds brought in from a cyclone. Well, normally that would be okay. Things are starting to head up. It's not working for him. He had 758 passengers on board. Another cyclone came up from the Antarctic and met with the original, took the wind speeds up. So there wasn't any question of nothing that could be done. No way was Wahine that had its problem. That was the one that was the culprit that stopped working.